Hello everybody, and an early evening again, and another video again. I thought while I was on a roll, I'd try and get another one out. I thought I'd do a soft-spoken video. I've, as you can tell, just got back from work, literally, and thought before I got on with anything else that I would just try another video to still nail down the camera. The lighting seemed to help with the one I did yesterday. I have tried to alter some of the settings still and see if that makes a difference. I think I did find the timestamp one which is annoying in the corner, and see I'm not sure what the time out was. I've changed it from NTFS to PAL, but it seemed to be recording on the app. Didn't show that it stopped, so I'm not sure what happened there. Rather annoying. Anyway, I thought I would try soft spoken, see how that sounds on this mic. I still need some soundproofing in this room, as you might be able to hear, a bit of tell the past few. This obviously works a lot better for soft spoken because I don't need to have the gain up as much. The Rode, I'm not sure how that sounded. It seemed okay, but the feedback with the headphones, it's obviously very sensitive on a much wider area, so that take a bit more careful planning ahead of time, I think, and again I get some soundproofing to stop any echoing, especially with that one. This one's a bit more directional, so it's not as bad, obviously. So I thought just to get the camera tried out again and try and get this set up a bit more nailed down, that I'll just have a quick run through of some of my radios. It's one thing I don't think I've actually done. Done a few other bits and pieces and camera equipment, this equipment, but I don't think I've ever showed the radios, which is kind of partly why this room, or I put together some of this room in a spare room for the computer equipment for all the work I had to do. I do want to strip it all out though, because it was kind of put together in a rush years ago now, and I've just never got round to stripping all out and putting proper nice tops in, or buying custom desks, something like that. I've got a glass one downstairs with my laptop and everything on for most work, so I can keep an eye on the little one. But I never really got to change it up here. Just added more things, and it's got more cluttered, which, as I said, I tidied out and got rid of a lot of things. Tidied out a lot of cables, which were just everywhere. So I thought I'd have a quick run through of some of the radio equipment that you might have seen in the background, and maybe flip the camera around to show what's on the other side of this. Yeah, so let's have a quick go and see what it turns out. So what I have is basically a scanner. It's a Uniden Bearcat. I don't know how familiar people are with radio equipment or how interested they even are. It was just a hobby that me and a few friends got into for a laugh, basically, to have a chat later on at nights, because a few of us used to work late and do computer work late, and rather than just messages on the computer, we knew a lot of taxi friends and people as well that were up late, and we obviously said get on the CBs and get talking to them while they're out, and I knew a few people that work out at sea, local to us, because I live near the sea, out on a lot of the boats doing wind farm work and things, and some of them on there are nuts. You know, they used to park the boats up offshore and talking about all sorts at night. It was just funny, so we thought, well, get a CB, get off eBay for next to nothing, which I did get a few. And you quickly realise, because I used to have a CB years and years ago when I was younger, that, you know, basically 20-30 foot aerial will get you about 20 feet down the road. Exaggeration, but the reception and that isn't good. But nowadays, obviously, for a friend that lived near me actually was a proper licensed radio amateur. And basically he said there was a local club, we didn't know anything about this, so we thought we'd pop along. A lot of really good blokes, ex-Navy, ex-RAF, all sorts, that did this as a hobby. And as a hobby, it was more to get them away from the wives at least once a week down at the local pub for the weekly amateur club meeting, when really it was just to get together and have a few pints. So we were like, yeah, we'll pop along for that. And then I went from there, and it actually did get interesting. It was something to do, distracting on the side, which was quite hands-on and a bit different to what you're usually used to. And I enjoyed the more basic analogue approach, where you actually built something with your hands or had to do something physically, and the more you put into it, the more you'd get out, type of thing. So that's where it came from. So basically started off with some things like these. Which is just does close call tracking. You can basically switch on, let it scan all the frequencies in its range near you, and it'll pick up anything that's been keyed up at the time, anything analog. Great little thing. Used to have the marine bands and some aircraft things on it, and you could take out when camping, give you something interesting to listen to what was going on around you. Really, really good. After that, once I'd had my licence and everything, picked up one of these little Wuxen units off eBay. Kind of a China product. It was not really well known, obviously. All the older guys were fans of the more well-known branded equipment, which was really expensive, even for handheld things like this. You're talking hundreds and hundreds plus. And this was, I can't remember now, was it about £40 or £50? Was it even that? Was it £29? It does 2 meters and 70 centimeters, different bands on the radio. Little unit. And it works really, really well. You can get shorter aerials and everything for it, but they're tough as nails. They really good batteries on them, saying it cost next to nothing, and they performed just as well, if not better, than some of these really expensive ones that the other guys had. So now these are really popular, and people pick them up all over. There's all different types of them, which is one of these, which is a Baofeng GT3. Which still has battery power, which is surprising. I haven't used it in a long time. And this, again, is really robust, very light, great battery, tiny aerial. I had a video of myself listening to Tim Peake, one of the astronauts on the International Space Station, because they do planned conversations with schools and events, things like that are pre-set up, and you can get the dates and times for them off NASA websites and things like that. And I walked the dog late on at night when I knew it was kind of passing over, and they were doing this conversation to a girls' college in the UK, I think. Picked him up, clear as day, as if it was on a mobile phone. It was really good signal, and people were surprised for, again, whatever it was, £40, £50, a bit more expensive this one, but that it could pick it up so well. Now I probably wouldn't have got to talk back to him for various reasons, but the range on these things is brilliant. listen to all the marine, from where I am, I can listen to all the marine bands out at sea on this and talk back to them. We'll get in the other side of it, that you don't talk back to them unless you're on a vessel and things like this and the other. But I've talked to people out on private handhelds and people who are at the Isle of Man. I think, yeah, I've talked to people at the Isle of Man from this handheld. But you can plug it into your external aerial as well and listen on there and get much better range. And then with these ones, these are kind of ones we used to use at work and all sorts. You can pick these up second hand off eBay, and I've picked them up at rallies. The battery's dead in this though. Motorola, these are now digital that they've moved over to, and the signal, I should say the quality of it is superb. It's absolutely brilliant. You know, if you can get the signal you can get through no static or anything, it's obviously a totally different way of the technology works. Well, not totally different, but it works really, really well, and we've got copies of the software, and me and one of my friends used to program up a lot of these because it takes a lot more knowledge, computer side of things, to program up the actual radios, if you will. You get like I'd say like a profile, if you will, that you upload to the radio, where you have to have a registered call sign, and then you put all the frequencies in, and what colour codes and things they use. It's all this technical thing, but once you get your head around it, it's brilliant. They work really well, and you can get to certain repeaters, kind of stations around the country, which if you can reach them from where you are, your signal will then be broadcast from there, extended onwards, how normal radio works as well, but you can have them internet linked, so you can, I've talked to people from here, got into one of these repeaters, and that signal's then put through talk groups on the repeater through the internet, and you can talk to people in Australia. People say it's not the same as real radios and all sorts, but it's still really interesting from a technical point of view, and makes other people more accessible that wouldn't have been. So you're still on a radio, but you're talking from this point over the air to another point that goes through the internet, broadcasts it on the other side in Australia, and then they can receive it on one of theirs. So it's all just saying it's interesting, it's part of the hobby, it's interesting to learn, and actually rewarding if you get it to work. Can be really annoying, but it's still interesting. And this is the same, this is just another one of these Chinese copies, but that's more well known now, TYT. Bit loud. One of the annoying things about these kind of Chinese ones is you can't change all the settings. Some of the things like that are annoying. You can turn them all off, all the sounds, or all on. But these are really, really good. Again, they're really solid, really well made. I've had absolutely no issues with it whatsoever, and I've updated it loads of times, and now it's got to the point where people come up with hacked firmware and all sorts, and you can do really good things with them for not much money, if you're in that kind of thing, obviously. So they're the kind of handheld radios I have, and I thought what I'd do is kind of flip the camera around and have a look at the other kind of two main units I use, because I've tidied a lot of my things up now, and moved everything last week, obviously. So let's have a look at that and spin it around and have a look. So this is my other unit, a Yaesu FT 7900. Again, it's a 270cm band radio. Brilliant little units. The actual main unit's further over there. This front part comes off, and you can mount it wherever you want, because it can be mounted in a vehicle and such. I have it set to preset with all the bands that I've put in. And saying you can listen to various things on it, or you can so that's the marine band that's in there local to me. I also have a lot of the airline frequencies in that you can pick up the different planes on. Or you do get a lot of annoying things like that which you can get rid of. But yeah, once you've got it all set up and everything, you can leave it on the background. I usually leave it on while I'm working, and it gives you something else to break up the background noise. And that's a Scottish control for this area of flight, if you will. So that's that one that I can leave on and listen to, or talk back onto, but really I just leave it on to break up the silence, as I say. And I've got my other main one over here. So this is my other main unit. I have the SWR meter on the top, which tells you the power output and the kind of the feedback on feedback, without going into too much depth of, to make sure your SWR is not too high, so you're not getting a lot of power reflected back because of not using the right ohmage and things like that, without bothering going into it. This is my antenna tuner, which you can select 2 separate aerials, and you can tune the aerials, because obviously there won't be resonant on each band. Mine's cut at, I can't remember the exact distance and length now, but it tunes up on most bands. You just get less efficient on certain bands and lose power on certain bands, if you will. But the aerial I have at the moment needs a lot of work, so it doesn't pick up that well at the moment. So this is on 20 metres, 20 metre band, 14 meg. Better later on at night, so not the best time to be on. I used to do a lot of digital modes where this is hooked up to the computer, and you get like a waterfall, and you send messages through the radio. So much more efficient, less power. It can be, so it's more again like a technical challenge to be able to do that and set it up, and that's more of the challenge for it, which is these sounds you'll pick up on these different frequencies. Say that if I had the computer turned on, the software will pick up all that, and it'll decode each of those transmissions into an actual message you type to the person. It's a message coming back. Some people think it's not radio and it's different, but they do big competitions with this and various things. That's I find it interesting. It's another form of using the radio. It's another technical challenge to try and get it up and working. I think he said he was in California then, which seems surprising on this band at this time. I'm not sure. So you have the signal strength at the top, the frequency you're on, what sideband and mode you're in, any digital sound processing, the setup of your antenna configuration, manual tune, because this does come with a tuner, or you can get with a tuner, but I use this. Oh, well, this is some people on, but yeah, that's the radio I have for there. Now I've tidied up a bit. I have all the mess of antennas behind, cables behind, but that was a lot tidier than it was. And I have various power supplies and things under there for the power it all. I have a PC down below, another one over the other side, and then my main rig there. And a bit of a bare setup as it was. Now we had another screen here for the 3, and then another one, well, for the sky up there. Aerials are at the top there, out through the roof. And that's that setup. So, let's go back to the front view. So, that was it. I guess that was something a bit different. I don't think I've shown that before. Probably not interesting to anyone, unless you're into the hobby, I guess. It's just something different, one of many hobbies, along with all the computer gear that I've just thrown out a lot of. My gaming rig. Used to mess about with them a lot more than I do anymore. But I'm going to redo this whole room basically and go from there. But at the moment, that's what it looks like at the moment. Desks are cheap and not very well laid out, so that's why I want to change it all, but it's getting round to it. It took me this long to bin everything and try and minimise it to the things I need rather than just hoarding everything. The radio gear I'll have to all move and re-cable, but I don't use it that much anymore. I say it's more to be on and listen when I can, and when I'm working late or at weekends, leave it on in the background and such, and go on a bit really later on. You get all the Americans and people across the pond coming on later on from the time difference, obviously, and that's usually when I'm up, so that's when I used to go on it more. Having a little one change that a little bit, but still get to go on when I can. So I'll see how this looks on the camera, try and patch together the sound the best I can, and hope it's slightly improving each time. So thanks for all the comments again up to now and encouragement. 3 videos out in space of a few days is more than I've done in months, so hope I can keep it up to some degree. but I'm saying I'm just trying to get everything nailed down and working, so I know an easy, quick setup that's still good quality will work and make it much easier, like I've just found now. Come home, do one from work. But obviously it may take a bit more time to do something a bit more interesting, a bit of a reading video. I think I want to try next again. Some of the books that I'd started and not finished. So that's where I'm going to go. So I'll try and get this video done as soon as I've had something to eat and sort things out, walk the dog. And see how soft spoken sounds. And hopefully it's getting a little better each time. So thanks as always everybody. Thanks for the comments, keep them coming. Any suggestions from the last video and other ASMR artists for me to check out. And yeah, we'll go from there. Hope the week goes as easy for everyone as it can do. Monday, I have to admit, wasn't too bad, so I'll take that as a positive. And getting another video is even a better thing. So yeah, hope everyone's doing well and has a nice week as best you can. Try and smile where you can. And I'll catch you soon. Bye bye.